Angel Reese has her podcast, Unapologetically Angel. And on her podcast, she had a guest, Kayla Nicole, who is the ex-girlfriend of Travis Kelce, who obviously dates Taylor Swift, right? I think everybody knows that. The old post is being resurfaced and boosted as Caitlin Clark fans and Taylor Swift fans start to become one, which would equate to the largest fan base perhaps in the history of
Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift just humiliated Angel Reese after her latest podcast fiasco. Angel, being the drama magnet she is, decided to stir up more controversy, clearly desperate for attention. But this time, karma hit hard, and it wasn't pretty. Remember when she pulled that classless finger-pointing taunt at Clark during the NCAA championship? She thought she had the last laugh. Fast forward to now, and it's come full circle, with the mockery landing squarely on her. And this time, it's not just Clark, it's millions of Swifties, and they're not holding back.
Where Angel Reese can do a podcast that gets this much attention, that then brings the attention to Caitlin Clark, who already had the most attention from the fan base of the person outside of sports who gets the most attention.
How can someone be so incredibly out of touch? Angel really thought this desperate podcast stunt would keep her in the spotlight, but instead, she's drowning in backlash. Now, the Swifties are piling on, making things even worse. Hats off. Angel, you've really outdone yourself. I'm seriously wondering how you're going to clean up this mess. Another tantrum? Or maybe stirring up even more drama?
And, Angel can handle herself in that space, I guess, a little bit. And she posts this, Peyton Pays Too, about it. And she's ready for the onslaught. She's painting her nails to get ready to rock and roll with the Swifties. Angel ain't afraid of the Swifties. Respect to Angel for that.
Let's talk about Angel Reese, shall we? How much more embarrassing can it get? First, she tries to flex on Caitlin Clark during the NCAA championship, pointing at her finger like she's the queen of basketball or something. Sure, Angel, you won the game, but that finger-pointing stunt? Pure cringe? It wasn't just trash talk, it was a desperate cry for attention. And guess what? You got it, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, you're the poster child for pettiness, and the world isn't letting you forget it anytime soon.
Being spun into something crazy, Angel Reese has her on the podcast. She talks about Travis Kelce, and the Swifties are unleashed. And they first start going for Angel.
But let's not stop there. Fast forward to now, where Angel Reese is getting absolutely annihilated not just by sports fans, but by the Swifties. You know you've hit rock bottom when Taylor Swift's fan base makes you their next target. So what was the brilliant move that triggered them? Angel hops on a podcast with Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex, of all people, and somehow thinks this is a smart way to stay relevant. Guess she forgot that Swifties are like an army that never sleeps. You mess with Taylor or anyone even remotely connected to her, and you're in for a world of hurt. But Angel thought she could casually trash talk Caitlin Clark and not face the consequences. Wrong move. Reese, very wrong move.
We've seen each other in public spaces, but I think that we're both aware of the nature of his new situation, that there's just no room really for us to communicate or acknowledge each other publicly without it being spun into something.
You thought you were just playing ball with Caitlin Clark? Nah, girl. Now you're up against millions of Swifties, and they don't just slide into your mentions, they obliterate you. They're out there reminding Angel every second that not only is Caitlin Clark a superior player, but she's also got the full support of their queen, Taylor Swift. How's that for a humbling moment? Angel might have felt pretty smug after her championship ring taunt, but now she's getting metaphorically dunked on, over and over again. That's got to sting worse than any loss.
You got this one that says, more Swifties are joining Caitlin FC by the second. Oh, it's so over for the league. That from 444 Hater. I hope they're not talking about the Jay-Z album, because I love that
and
album.
What's even more hilarious is how Reese thought teaming up with Kayla Nicole would boost her clout. Seriously? Partnering with Travis Kelce's ex while he's literally dating Taylor Swift? Did you even think that through, Angel? That's like walking straight into the fire and asking to get roasted. It's almost as if she was begging for the backlash.
Taylor Swift can do anything. She endorses the Vice President Harris, and then it's on the news immediately, right? Like every news outlet. She's got that gravitas, she's just that popular. And
here's the thing, the Swifties don't play nice, and now they're on a mission to defend Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift like it's their full-time job. Angel, you're not just playing basketball anymore, you've officially become the villain in a pop culture saga you never saw coming. That podcast episode? It didn't boost your relevance, it just showcased your desperation to stay in the spotlight. And trust me, if you thought stirring up drama with Caitlin Clark was bold, you've now poked the wrong beehive. The Swifties aren't just a fan base, they're a force of nature. You might as well have handed them a microphone and asked them to roast you live.
And Caitlin Clark is the same way. In fact, Colin Cowherd has referred to Caitlin Clark as Taylor Swift in tennis shoes. So if you do have a bunch of Swifties who all of a sudden became Caitlin Clark fans, that's a problem for any other fan base in any fan debate. I don't know if they're actually sticking around or they're just making a show of it online.
Kayla Nicole's whole sob story about her past with Travis Kelce and how complicated things are now that he's dating Taylor Swift, it felt like a bad episode of some third-rate reality show, the kind you only watch when you're too tired to change the channel. And you, Angel, thought bringing that mess onto your platform was going to elevate you? All it did was open the door for the Swifties to swoop in and drag you from here to oblivion. Let's be real, this whole move reeks of insecurity. You've been salty ever since that finger-pointing stunt during the NCAA championship, flaunting your ring like it was the crown jewels. Well, guess what, Angel? That ring doesn't shield you from the internet's wrath. Taylor's fans saw right through this as just a pathetic attempt to pull Caitlin Clark down to your level. And girl, they did not hesitate, they came for you in full force. They don't do things halfway. They shredded you on social media, dragging your name through the mud while lifting Caitlin up as the basketball queen she truly is.
Meanwhile, there's the Angel end of it, and she's caught some blowback for the podcast itself. It's just a podcast. She's just 22 years old. I really didn't get myself the point of the booking, but maybe there was an audience for it. Obviously, it got to the Taylor Swift fan base, so I'm sure the views.
You've gone from taunting on the court to getting absolutely torched online. Congratulations, you're now that person, the one who tried to take down not just an athlete, but an entire army of Swifties. And let's talk about Caitlin for a second. She's not even trying, just out there being amazing, letting her skills do the talking. Meanwhile, you're stirring up weak gossip on a podcast. Pathetic. It's almost sad watching you flail like this, desperate to stay relevant, while Caitlin effortlessly rides the wave of support from both Swifties and sports fans alike.
We've had enough of Caitlin Clark fans fighting with Angel Reese fans and debates of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. I'm just talking about the good fun of it.
And then there's Caitlin's tweet from last year, the one where she welcomed Taylor Swift to the Chiefs fan base. That tweet has now become a symbol of why Caitlin is winning in more ways than one. The Swifties dug it up like it was a golden artifact and made it their battle cry, uniting behind Caitlin like she's one of their own. Meanwhile, you're left standing there looking ridiculous, trying to capitalize on some reality TV level drama that nobody cares about. Caitlin Clark is just sitting back, watching this whole thing unfold, barely lifting a finger. She has an entire army doing the work for her, while you're trying to stay relevant with trash talk and bad podcast decisions. Meanwhile, Caitlin's out here getting love from Taylor Swift, the most famous pop star on the planet. That's got to feel like adding insult to injury. You probably didn't see that coming when you were busy trying to humble Caitlin with your taunts. Well, the tables have definitely turned, haven't they?
That side of WNBA, Twitter, and social media, and media, who doesn't like Caitlin Clark being talked about so much, is going to absolutely hate the idea of the Swifties also coming into the discourse and saying whatever it is.
I'm sure the views on your social media are absolutely tanking, while Caitlin's are soaring. Her follower count is blowing up faster than your ego did after that championship game, and it's all thanks to the Swifties. They've made it crystal clear that Caitlin Clark is their girl, while you're just the side character in a story that's no longer about you. In the grand scheme of things, this whole debacle shows exactly where you stand on the outside, desperately knocking on the door, while Caitlin shines in all her glory. You can keep trying to stir up drama and throw shade, but at this point, it's laughable. Caitlin is thriving with the support of Taylor's fan base, and you're just another footnote in a rivalry that's completely one-sided now. So, Angel, maybe next time you should think twice before trying to pull off some weak publicity stunt. You're not just playing basketball anymore, you're in a full-on cultural war. And trust me, you're losing badly. While Caitlin Clark is out here gaining more love, fame, and followers by the second, you're stuck fumbling in the spotlight you so desperately crave. Good luck. Honestly, this whole saga is just a long lesson in karma for Angel Reese. She could have taken her championship win with a shred of grace, but no, she chose pettiness. And now she's getting dragged for it. The Swifties are putting her in her place, reminding everyone that being a classless sore winner doesn't pay off. Caitlin Clark is winning over not just basketball fans, but one of the most dedicated fan bases in the world. Reese can't compete with that. No amount of podcast appearances or trash talk is going to save her from the social media tidal wave she's facing. So Angel, maybe next time you'll think twice before trying to one-up someone like Caitlin Clark, because now you're not just dealing with a superior athlete, you're facing a cultural icon in the making, backed by the Swifties. And let me tell you, once they're on your case, it's game over.